My in-studio guest today is Dorinda Warren, candidate for Congressional District 19, and I've run into Dorinda numerous times. Her campaign grassroots coordinator. What is Brian's job?
He's my campaign manager.
Your campaign manager. I didn't give you enough credit. I'm sorry about that. He and I are good friends. I didn't even know his title. But Dorinda, I didn't get a bio from you. I don't know a lot about you, and this is a large field. We've got tons of candidates, tons of newcomers that have not been in the political arena. So tell us a little bit about yourself, your background.
Well, thank you for having me on first, Steve,
hey, thanks
this
for coming.
morning. Appreciate it. Well, I grew up in Fritz, Texas, up on the Canadian River, and my family farms and ranch up in that area and north of Stratford. That's where my roots are, mostly ranching. That work ethic that I learned on the farm paid off dearly when I was able to, apply it in the athletic field. That enabled me to come to Texas Tech and become part of the Red Raiders and become a Lady Raider under Marcia Sharp. I learned a lot under Marcia Sharp. I learned to be a good winner and a good loser, and also how to be a good team player. Those traits carried me over into the nursing field extremely well, because when I went into nursing, we were doing team nursing. I've been a nurse for 30 years, and so I finished my undergrad and my master's in nursing. Me and my husband chose to stay here in the area, in the South Plains area, and raise our family, because we know this is a great place to raise a family with good values, hard work. We have 5 children, 4 boys and 1 girl. We did get a girl in there. All are college grads. Our youngest son is a sophomore at Texas Tech, and we have 8 grandchildren, and number 9 is due in April next year.
Wonderful. Well, let me go ahead and throw the small curveball at you. We had a drive-by caller earlier, and he brought up an interesting point. You haven't been in the political arena.
No.
We don't know you.
That's right.
We don't know what kind of conservative you are. So how do we measure that? We don't have a voting record to go by. With some of the other candidates, we really know their position. They've had voting records in the past. And we seem all too often to put people in Congress that are rhinos. I mean, we think they're great. We think they're conservative. They stand up and scream the message, "I'm for West Texas." What lets us know that you're a true conservative? Because we have nothing else to measure you by.
Right. A true conservative is someone that lives, and breathes what they do. And I was really called by farmers in my community because I live what I talk. Anybody that's worked up under me in the nursing field knows that that's exactly what I do. Those are my principles, and they apply in my profession, and they're also applied in my daily life, and that's evident in my children that I've raised.
Okay. How effective do you think a junior congressman coming onto the floor is going to be, truly?
Well, I've started enough programs, a hospice, a mental health unit, several others other agencies I've gone in and corrected. I can truly tell you it takes almost 6 months to get everybody, locked and loaded and working towards a common goal. So, in Congress, it's probably going to take me the first year to get up there and establish myself that, I'm not a soccer mom. I'm a hardworking woman that's been out working in the fields, working with cattle, working in the healthcare industry, and I'm tired of my tax dollars and other people's tax dollars not going for what we say they're supposed to. Oh,
we're all tired of that. So how can you? This is a question that I've asked in debates over the years of candidates going to the House. How can you be instantly effective? What can you do as a junior congresswoman with no seniority coming onto the floor? How can you be instantly effective?
I think I bring a different look to things. I think that was evident yesterday in our forum that we had down in Stanford. I'm not preaching the same old politics. I'm looking outside the box. I'm truly want to listen to people that are invested in what we're doing and bringing that to the table. It's about let's sit down, let's negotiate, and let's figure out how we can get things accomplished and not lay down and roll over what we just saw.
Right. What's your most important issue?
My most important issue, well, I wouldn't say there's one important issue. I mean, my roots are farming and ranching, so that's where my heart is because I want to represent all farmers and ranchers. I would say, we run a cow-calf operation, so that, cattle are up front and most for me, but my profession is healthcare, and it's devastating to know the people that work every day on that front line aren't getting covered with any kind of health care. That's not what our Obamacare was for. It was to support and help people, and it has failed us desperately.
So what's your idea to fix health care?
We need to get all players to the field. Probably the best example I can give you is in Snyder, talking to those people. An insurance company literally went down there and sold those people an insurance healthcare premium and deductible. And guess what? Nobody takes that. I don't have a doctor that's contracted with it, and I don't have a hospital. Well, guess what? Those people have to sit at the table when we're making those decisions. Hospitals have to be at that table. Pharmacists, even our nurse practitioners, everybody involved, even the insurance companies, talking with them. I've gone out and talked with them. Everybody has to sit at the table. We all truly are vested to take care of people, but everybody has to agree. How are we going to do it? And we're probably not going to be able to cover everybody. That is a great possibility. But we're setting up community clinics, like we just opened one in Abilene. That is phenomenal because that will help take the load off our ERs. And that's huge right now. Our hospitals are having to take the burden of all unfunded patients.
Okay, so repeal Obamacare, is that step one?
Definitely.
Is it something that we just yank the carpet out from under it, completely defund it, shut it down overnight? Is that the answer? Or is it something that's going to take time? Do we have to come up with a replacement first?
I think we've got to come up with a truly good replacement that doctors are willing to take it, hospitals are willing to accept it, insurance people are good with it, and now let's move forward with it.
And what would that look like? I mean, we've got this single payer type of a system now that just is completely collapsing. I personally don't have any insurance. I've lost mine as a result of it, and I'm forced to go to the exchanges now. So what would it look like in your mind is a good health insurance system? Something like what we did before, or...
It should look, talking with the insurance companies, they want it to go totally back, but if we go totally back, we're still at the same place before we got to Obamacare. Mm-hmm. It's got to encompass those health care insurance plans have to be, and I know it sounds, here we go again, but it has to be tailored for, small, young families with young children. They need a different policy than somebody like me who is out of the childbearing age. I shouldn't be having to pay for maternity insurance, and that's what, Obamacare was like this one big conglomerate. And also, it didn't help us cover our chronic patients. There's not, I don't know if we need a clearinghouse or whatever, but we need to be able to disperse chronic patients that need support. Not one insurance company should carry that burden.
Right. Okay, so you're passionate about healthcare. It's your field, and I think that people are concerned. I mean, that is one of the big hot button issues. The second one, in my mind, in West Texas, is agriculture.
Right.
We're not winning. I hate to quote Donald Trump. We're not winning out here. We've got cotton farmers. My family is 100% supported by cotton. We've got cotton farmers out here that are they're going broke.
Right.
Any specific thoughts on how to fix that?
Well, I've heard several people talk about the SNAP part of our farm bill. In reality, I look at that part of our farm bill. Those programs have now been in place long enough that they truly need to be evaluated. And I can't find where anybody's looking at those to make sure that billions of dollars that we spend are being truly used appropriately. It's time to dig in there and look and see if we can't move billions of dollars possibly over to the farming side within our same bill. I'm not saying let's pull it from another area. Let's use it within our same bill. And, because that's what we do in healthcare. If things aren't working, we have to reevaluate it and decide, okay, this is not working. We've got to reallocate. We've got to fix it. We need to get it better. But I can't see where anybody's looked at that part of the SNAP.
Well, and my question is with SNAP is what difference does it make where it comes from? If they're going to fund SNAP, no matter where they put it at, if they were to pull it out of the Farm Bill, would that not pull some funding from the Farm Bill too?
Yes, it would.
I mean, the thought is if we do away with SNAP, then we're going to have all those dollars available to then increase the budget of the Farm Bill truly for agriculture. Do you see that happening, or do you see that money going away?
I don't see us removing the part of the SNAP, okay? Because this truly is our area to be able to negotiate with the Democrats. So you don't pull your ace out. This is our area where we can do some negotiation on the Democratic side. We have to have something that we've got some leverage.
And I'm glad to hear you say that, because we don't negotiate with the Democrats. Right. We don't act as a majority. Let's go ahead and take the break. When we come back, more with Dorinda Warren. I'm Steve Evans in for Chad Hasty on KFYO. Back on the Chad Hasty Show, KFYO. I'm Steve Evans in for Chad today, visiting with Dorinda Warren. And we left off on ag. We were talking ag, and we went to the break, and we didn't. You had a little bit more to say, and we were talking about how to revitalize cotton, how to help some of these farmers out, and you had some specific thoughts on that. If you wanted to share them.
Well, one thing that I think is real important right now that we're looking at, and especially our support Congressman Mike Conaway on it, is fighting to make cottonseed oil a Class Title I oil seed, which really that could help us at the county level. It would at least allow cotton to go into the agricultural risk coverage and the price loss coverage programs. So that would be at least another program that we could look at for our cotton farmers.
Okay, so that's is that something that seed would then be subsidized?
Yes, it would be.
Okay, which that can open up a whole
another can of worms
there, but it does bring some economic activity to cotton. Let's shift gears just a minute. Drive-by caller, he threw a million issues at us he's interested in, but one of the big ones is immigration. Everybody's talking about immigration, and other candidates are out there. They're going to secure the border. They're going to stop the Syrian refugees, and we can kind of lump that in together. Immigration, sanctuary cities, and the refugees are all kind of a one big issue, in my opinion. But what are your thoughts on immigration?
Well, my oldest son is Border Patrol, so that's pretty much dear to my heart. It's up front and center in our home. And, I've gone to the border. I've talked to the Border Patrol agents, and, they need some help down there. They need more manpower. No, they don't want to build a wall, a fence. They need manpower down there so they can handle the wave of people coming across. They need some equipment. And not only do we need manpower for Border Patrol, but we also need to look at medical, because now we're starting to see disease processes that we thought were gone or eradicated. We're seeing whooping cough and measles and chicken pox, and they talk about that we need to screen people, and we need to watch them, and we need to make sure that we watch their social media posts, but let me give you an example. I was the chief medical director at the Lubbock County Detention Center, and we had a man that came in with a sexually transmitted disease from Mexico, and then I had to call the health department and bring him in. Within a month, we had 2,300 people in the city of Lubbock infected with that sexually transmitted disease.
All from that one person?
One person. So you talk about social media, we're talking thousands, millions of people.
Just from the South. Okay, so you said that they don't want a wall. Are you interested in building a wall? And if we don't, can the Border Patrol effectively secure the border?
Yes.
Can we do it without a wall?
I think we can. And if we get the right, we get enough people down there to help them, because they start sending waves across the border, and, there's only so much manpower down there to handle, like if they're gathering some up, then some have to leave and take them to the holding unit, and that leaves, several still just there, and then another group comes and they take them. Well, at the end of the night, that's when we've only got 5 or 6 left on the border. It takes a while to input people into, just like booking somebody into the jail. It takes a while to do all those things. So you're leaving those agents out there. It starts cutting our manpower each time they're bringing people in.
Okay, so you don't support Trump's idea of building a giant wall?
No, I don't.
And right now, Texas is footing a large amount of this bill for the border security. Is that the federal government's job, or should each state protect their own border?
Well, we definitely, as Texans, want to protect our border, but I feel like it is the federal government that's supposed to help us enforce that and help pay for that. And truly, when you look at our budget at the Texas level, we're fitting, like you say, we're fitting a huge part of that. So you want to cut spending, but you almost want to send a bill to the federal government saying, "Hey, we're down here having to handle all this by ourselves, most of it." So,
would you be willing to take an invoice from Governor Abbott and write to Capitol Hill and get it paid for?
Yes, sir, I would.
Okay, let's. How about sanctuary cities? Where are you at on sanctuary cities? There's this new omnibus bill actually funds sanctuary cities. It's almost like we've lost the fight.
It's almost sickening to see what happened with the omnibus. It is sickening to see that people aren't standing up. I probably could have handled it if we were at least, weaning or trending, but to just hand them almost a blank check and say, here we go, that's devastating. It's devastating to those of us who are out here busting it day to day from can to cane. You're just taking my tax dollars and spending them the way you want to.
Mm-hmm. I can't agree with you more. It's been kind of one of the topics of discussion today, what's packed in this omnibus bill. Dorinda, I want to thank you for coming on today. Do we have a campaign website or social media or something we can put out?
Yes, just go to www.DorindaWarren.com, and my first name is DERENDA, DorindaWarren.com.
Great. Thanks for coming on. We look for a lot more from you.